be an exciting few nights. The NFL annual league meetings kick off next week in Phoenix, Arizona. Good camera work there. Wow. Owners, coaches, general managers will meet to discuss league business, rules changes, future initiatives. That's Shadid on the camera, by the way. Adam Schefter back here. Adam, we'll be out there. I'm excited to be with you guys. And what are some key items on the agenda for next week? Let's start with the tush push.
Well, Laura, for all the things that are going to be discussed next week, the one thing that won't be discussed is the tush push, which was one of the headline conversations at the owners' meetings last year. But it's not on the agenda for this year's meeting. The tush push will be back in 2026. Again, no push to get a proposal to have it banned, and so it will be back next season. And we are expecting to get confirmation that the Super Bowl 63 will be held in Las Vegas. The legal return there to Allegiant Stadium. It is expected to be formalized next week. The league was told about it yesterday, the competition committee, and essentially the Super Bowl will be going from LA to Atlanta to Las Vegas, Super Bowl 63. And there will be a looming issue that threatens to be disruptive to the season. That is the collective bargaining agreement for the officials. Talks between the NFL and the NFL Referees Association have broken off. They're nowhere right now. Now, again, the CBA doesn't expire till the end of May. But right now, the talks are in a bad spot. One source described it as dire, and there's still a long way to go before we get to replacement referees. But it sounds like we could start contemplating what it would be like to have replacement referees as we once did about a decade or so ago.
Yeah, that was rough. Let's hope that does not happen. We'll keep a close eye on that for sure. More from Adam coming your way in just a little bit. No push for the tush push. Did you hear Adam say that? It didn't get enough credit. Okay, thank you, Mike T. Thank you. Okay, pop out of Mike T over there. All right, Jeremy, another item on the agenda stirring some conversation. Cleveland's proposal to trade draft picks up to 5 years in the future. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Laura, the current rule is 3 years. Cleveland wants 5 years, and this is trade culture. We're looking at nearly 20 deals that were done around the new league year in the first 2 weeks. Teams love to trade. If you're Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, you're probably not getting traded. Most players otherwise are expendable right now because teams have more comfortability making deals. So Cleveland wants to expand the picks where you can do it 5 years out. The teams that are really organized and love to trade are going to have an advantage because they're going to work years ahead. Yeah, and I think it has some momentum.
I mean, that has big impact on the league if it ends up happening. So something to keep an eye on for sure next week. Adam, the Browns made some modifications to the language of Myles Garrett's contract yesterday. Any connection there with what Jeremy's talking about?
Well, a lot of people have asked that question, Laura, and a lot of people have seen that Myles Garrett's contract was modified and the option bonuses were pushed back from the 15th day of the league year, which is about right now, to the week before the start of the regular season. And there are teams around the league that have surmised that maybe that might make it easier one day to trade Myles Garrett. But the Browns have zero intention of moving on from Myles Garrett. They didn't do that to trade him. They're not thinking about trading him. Trading's not an option for them right now. So I know a lot of people have said that, but the Cleveland Browns have said just the opposite. They are not looking and are not interested in dealing Myles Garrett.
And people reading the tea leaves there thinking, my goodness, could Myles Garrett be available? They're saying he's not. All right, let's continue to talk about pro days, as it's definitely pro day season. Ty Simpson taking the field yesterday during Alabama's pro day, projected by many as the second quarterback off the board in next month's draft. After his workout, he talked to Field Yates, talking about what separates him from the rest of the QBs in this class.
I think, one, my IQ and command at the line of scrimmage. You look at my tape, I'm always in the line doing something with our checks or getting us in the right place. So I feel like that, that sets me apart from a lot of other people. Two, I think people don't give me enough credit for my athletic ability. On the boot, on runs, getting away from the pocket. I feel like that's a huge part of my game and something that, quarterbacks have to do during, playing in the NFL. And then, the third thing is my arm. I feel like I can make any throw on the field, whether it's on time or having to scramble and throw it down the field like I showed out in pro day. Just something that, I feel like that I showed out in the pro day and, made some throws.
I mean, as he's talking, you're seeing the video. It looks good. Adam, what are you hearing about how teams view Ty Simpson?
Well, he had a great pro day, but a lot of players have great pro days.
Right.
And I think he's regarded as the universal second quarterback in this draft behind Fernando Mendoza, except in the eyes of Dan. But everybody else, I believe, thinks that Ty Simpson is the second-rated quarterback in this particular draft. And I think a lot of people believe that he's got a real good chance to go somewhere in the first round. Where it gets interesting is trying to figure out exactly where he's going to go. He's going to meet Friday and have a private workout with the New York Jets. Would they go ahead and take him at number 16? Is that possible? Is there a team there in the 20s like Cleveland at 24, Miami at 30 that would consider taking Ty Simpson? Is there a team that would trade back into the first round the way the Giants did last year with Jackson Dart? That will be one of the central focal storylines the night of the draft, is whether or not Ty Simpson does make it into the first round. A lot of people think he will, but it's harder to identify the spot right now where they think he'll wind up going.
Yeah, Adam Simpson is expecting to go into the first round. He's looking at that range of anywhere from 10 to 32. Probably not a top 10 pick at this stage unless it gets crazy, but there are just too many teams that need one. Adam mentioned the Jets, Browns, others. Arizona Cardinals, too. They're interesting to me. They come up a lot when I ask people around the league about Simpson because they have the third pick. They could go with David Bailey from Texas Tech or go defense and then try to trade back in. That Jackson Dart trade that Adam mentioned last year is a good template for some of these teams. If you don't look at Ty Simpson as a top 10 pick, but you want to get him late in the first, if he slides that far, you can take your pick early, and then you can make a deal to try to get in there.
And that's why Ty Simpson to me is so intriguing when it comes Thursday night of draft night, because at 16, you could see the Jets potentially saying, hey, we really like this quarterback. Why not get him right there at 16, knowing we have Geno Smith, where he can sit behind him for a year or two, and we can continue to groom him. But at the same time, if you're the New York Jets and at the number 2 pick, say you go Arvell Reese or Bailey out of Texas Tech, at 16, you can go to one of these wide receivers and really get another weapon on the other side of Garrett Wilson and say, you know what, we're not going to go quarterback this year in the first round because we're going to continue to build our team and continue to grow it. So when we do get that quarterback, he's prepared. And then you start to wonder, all right, where does Simpson go? And then Adam didn't mention Pittsburgh. Maybe Pittsburgh is interested, even if Rodgers comes back or not. Or I think potentially, like you said, one of those teams trading back in. So where he goes, I feel like on draft night, we're going to be talking about that all night long of where he potentially can go.
It's fascinating. I mean, at 16, you think maybe Mekhi Lemon's still there. Maybe somebody's already taken Carnell Tate, could be there. And the other thing, too, about all this is that the Jets have so much draft capital in the 2027 draft as well. Maybe if they don't hit on a quarterback this year, they could try again. I know Jets fans are like, how many quarterbacks we're going to draft? But there's a reality there. Now, Simpson's scheduled for this private workout tomorrow with the Jets. They currently have that 2nd and 16th overall pick. What's that process like, Mike, for the Jets and what it will be like? We talked earlier, too, the reporting from Rich Cimini that they're having a dinner tonight with all the coaches. But then what do they really want to see in the private workout?
Yeah, so Laura, it starts tonight. You want to get a good feel from him, his leadership, his intangibles. I expect that'll go great by all counts. And then tomorrow, you want to be able to see him drive the ball down the field. He is short by NFL standards. He's under 6'2", and you want to see that he has the requisite arm strength to play in the Northeast. So you play games, November, December in Buffalo against the villainous Patriots in New England. Those are games you have to win as well. So his arm strength is going to be really important, and that's what Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are going to want to see tomorrow.
Yeah, Simpson completed, you talk about arm strength, only 37% of his throws last year that went 20 yards downfield. Now, some of it, too, latter part of the season, he was injured. He was dealing with a lot, especially in his back, his ribs, all those things. But it's worth noting when you think about arm strength. Go ahead, Jamie.
And also, when you talk about those private workouts, just talking to different head coaches last year, I remember having a conversation with Sean Payton. He said when Bo Nix came up that night before, they gave him so much information and so much offense to come back and prepare and learn the next day. Didn't give it to him until like 5 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
He came back the next day and he knew all of it. So I think to your point, that driving the football and then also the knowledge part of the game, how do you learn? When we give you this information, can you process it in a single day? Because a lot of times in the NFL, you get to the sideline, it's not waiting till halftime, it's getting to the sideline, making those adjustments and being able to go back out there and execute.
Yeah, Ty will be impressive there. I think that's a strength of his for sure, as he even noted in the interview with Field. All right, it's MLB opening day, and what better way to start the MLB season than with Jameis Winston, who